My name is Arav Sundaresh. Thank you, Governor, for having this event. We just celebrated our older kid's 10th birthday. It's hard to believe we've been parents for a decade. Dhruva loves reading, Minecraft, Magic the Gathering, and Dungeons and Dragons. The morning after he was born, our first visitor was our attorney, eager for us to sign paperwork to initiate the co-parent adoption process. I am transgender, and at that time, before my outward gender transition, and then as a same-sex unmarried couple, my name was not on the birth certificate, and my path to legal parentage required me to adopt our child, who we had conceived through donor sperm from a sperm bank. That was hard and surreal. This need to claim my child, to try and fit within an existing system that had explicitly written us out, felt strange. I remember my dad struggling to step into his role as a grandparent until the adoption was finalized 4 months later, and that hurt. But I also believed that families that are the least affirmed are still powerful and necessary. Though our adoption process was stressful, we know other families had even harder situations. Needing to have physicals, home visits, and letters of recommendation to prove oneself fit as a fit parent, listening to a bailiff call the sperm donor's name in the courthouse corridor to notify him despite having a fully informed agreement with the family. A co-parent without legal standing being shut out from critical decisions for her newborn in intensive care while the birth parent recovered from emergency surgery. We had a different scenario 2 years ago when we welcomed our second child and uncomfortably realized the irony of Rhode Island's now passed pathways to parentage. When Dara was born, my relationship wasn't questioned. Though I was the same person as I was when Dhruva was born, with Dara I benefited from the privilege of my male gender and our marriage. I was the presumed legal co-parent. We decided not to pursue a co-parent's adoption this time, recognizing though that leaves us vulnerable. Born in Ohio, a state that doesn't correct trans people's birth certificates, I face the risk of my parentage being questioned in other jurisdictions. Thankfully, things will now be different. With the passage of the Rhode Island Uniform Parentage Act, Rhode Island LGBTQ people can establish parentage through a voluntary acknowledgement of parentage. Children born through assisted reproduction and those born through surrogacy will have an accessible route to secure parentage protections. Our group, Rhode Islanders for Parentage Equality, is thankful to Senator Aaron Lynch Prada and Representative Carol McEntee, the sponsors, who each worked tirelessly to pass this bill, as well as Rebecca Kislak, who championed it, and of course Governor Raimondo for committing to sign it quickly. We are also grateful to GLAAD, particularly Polly Crozier, who worked to make sure the legislation was clear and comprehensive, and to Resolve New England, who was a key organizational partner. We're thankful also for the support from the Department of Health, specifically Roseanne Giorgiani at Vital Records, and the Department of Human Services, Courtney Hawkins and Sharon Santilli. You know, what I think is most wonderful about the passage of this bill is that young people can imagine their futures full of possibility. I'm a high school teacher in Providence and advise the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. When we discussed this bill last fall when we were in school, my students were shocked to see the discord between the path to parentage and Rhode Island's other LGBTQ protections. And while some said, "Oh, Mr. Sundaresh, I don't know about having kids," who knows where they'll be in 5 or 10 or 15 years. I hope that when they see me, a trans educator of color, they know their futures are theirs. And if that includes becoming a parent, their parentage pathway is now clear of legal obstacles. Thank you again to the sponsors, to the advocates. I'm now happy to introduce Governor Raimondo.
Good afternoon, everybody. So this is only my second bill signing in the COVID world. We're trying to keep it short, but this is a big one. It's important, so we wanted to make sure that we did this and we marked the moment. And thank you for sharing your story with us and for your advocacy. There's a lot of people here who I want to take a second to recognize. Senator Lynch Prada, chairwoman, who sponsored this and did the hard work to make it happen. Rep. Carol McAtee, you two are a terrific team on this, and I can't thank you enough. You work closely with Kim Ahern in my office to make this happen, so thank you. The treasurer is here, Director Alexander Scott. She and I have been very busy recently. She's amazing. Chief Judge Michael Ford, Chief of the Family Court, who I saw here, was a big help. Rep. Caldwell, Rep. Chris Miller. Thank you all for your work and for what you've done. Courtney Hawkins, who couldn't be here this afternoon, she runs DHS, was a huge advocate for this and was really in the trenches for my administration, doing the hard work to make this happen. I can't wait to sign the bill. In a few minutes, I'm going to go sit there and I'm going to sign the bill, guaranteeing equal rights to all families in Rhode Island. That's what this is about. It is long overdue. Long overdue. And I'm so pleased that we have kids and families here at this bill signing, because it makes it real. It brings it home. All the work that we do in that building is for this. It's so children can grow up in a loving home, so that we, the people of Rhode Island, can unify behind the basic core values of equity, equality, love, and freedom. Freedom to love who you love and raise your family in a loving family. And today is also about modernizing antiquated, old-fashioned, homophobic laws that don't work anymore and that hold families back and put bureaucratic red tape and unfairness and barriers in the way of families becoming families. And so I was a strong advocate of the bill from the beginning, and I'm just actually very deeply grateful to Senator Lynch Prada and Rep. McAtee for sticking with it. This was kind of a funny legislative session. Yeah. It was a funny legislative session. Hard to get things, it's always hard to get things done in this building. This year was extra hard, but you guys did it. So hats off to you for sticking with it. I have talked this is the right thing to do as a matter of equal protection under the law. But the thing is, when you talk to families, when you talk to parents who have had to endure the indignity that our outdated laws have required them to endure, it is heartbreaking. And as a mother, I wouldn't want to have to go through that, and no Rhode Island family should have to go through that. So that's what this is about. Here's the last thing I'll say. We can't stop here. This is an excellent step forward. It's a big step forward. It's a long overdue step forward. Fundamentally, this is about securing equal rights under the law. Much has been said recently about equity. This is about equity. This is about equity in our LGBTQ community. This is about, let's take that commitment to equity across everything we do. Rebuilding our economy post-COVID, having a more equal Rhode Island, having a more fair and equal economy, having a more fair and equal access to health care, equity in our public health system, equity in housing, equity in education. Fundamentally making the promise of equal under the law the reality in Rhode Island. So to all of you who've made this a reality, thank you. And now please join me in welcoming one of the women who absolutely made it happen, Chairwoman Erin Lynch Prado.
Thank you, Governor, not only for the introduction, but also for your steadfast support of this bill. If it hadn't been for Governor Raimondo, and not only her willingness to lend her staff, sometimes too much of a willingness. They're very free with calling when they needed to, but it was her staff that really helped us push this over the finish line. Not only Kim Ahern, who she mentioned, who called me literally on a daily basis, also Director Hawkins was unbelievable in terms of the work she did with Sharon Santilli from the Department of Human Services in order to ensure that we did this right. It's so difficult to simplify what this bill is about, other than to say it's about families, and it's about allowing families to be families without forcing them to go to court to do so. I spend my days in family court, and I've had to explain to people that they would have to adopt their own children. I'd had to explain to people that they would have to allow DCYF to come into their house to do a home visit. And I can't imagine anything more offensive, really, than telling somebody that the family they plan to have wasn't recognized under the law. So I think the most important thing we take from today is that we're really taking a step forward in doing the right thing in order to treat everyone equally. Again, I can't thank Director Hawkins enough. Carol McEntee really did a Herculean effort this year in order to get this across the finish line. I can't thank my leadership enough. President Ruggiero and Leader McCaffrey were behind me from the beginning. The Senate has passed this bill the last 2 years, and we were very clear that we were going to continue to make this a priority. We were very clear that we were only going to pass a bill that the experts deemed to be appropriate. Just so we all take this into perspective, this is a uniform act. This is something that several other states have done, and in order to do it, we had to do it right. So I can't thank Carol enough for making sure that not only did we do it right, but we actually got it done this year. And I know Governor Raimondo indicated that this was a funny legislative season. I think funny is the last word I would use to describe this year. But we really did a great thing here, and this is a great thing today to watch the governor actually sign this bill. So I couldn't be happier to be here or prouder to be a part of it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Erin. I was trying to be charitable with the word funny, but the point is it was hard and you got it done. It had to get through the House. As the Senator said, the Senate passed it past couple years, and it had to get through the House before we could get to that table. And the woman who led that charge is our good friend and advocate, Rep. McEntee. So please join me to say a few words.
Hey, thank you so much. It's great to be here. It's great to see you all here. We had to have it outside because it really didn't have the same impact with all the families, without all the families present. So thank you so much for coming. All of you know how hard this bill has been to get past the finish line. It's taken hours upon hours and several years. It took a village, quite frankly, and it took all of you to tell your personal stories, to drive it home to the committees. It took hours upon hours of me working with the Honorable Chief Judge Michael Fort, who did a great job, by the way. We were working right on it till the day before the day we posted it, I think. Anyway, and Polly Crozier did a yeoman's job. I mean, I'm glad she's on vacation. I hope she's watching this because she deserves a lot of time off after this bill. So I also want to thank Danica Iacocca from our legal staff. She is our head legal counsel. She worked very hard on this bill. And so did Speaker Mattiello, Lita Sacacci, Justine Caldwell, and Bob Craven, all my top 5 co-sponsors, push this bill every inch of the way. I also want to thank Representative Rebecca Klezak for her hard work. I know she wishes she could be here. I spoke to her this morning. She's also on vacation. But this is for you, and my biggest thanks, and I would love for you guys to come up here, if I could, Anna Ford and Dr. Sarah Watson and Eli Watson, if you would come up here, please. This is how the whole bill started. I want to call this Eli's bill because when I first met Eli, he was a little bit of a thing. And now look at him, right? But these ladies came to me, they're my constituents, and they were adopting, they're trying to figure out how to adopt their own baby. And this is how it started, when they left the hospital without both names on the birth certificate. So they become great friends of mine, and even Eli doesn't mind hanging around the State House anymore. The first time he came, it was a struggle. But these ladies stuck with it, they stuck with me, and I also want to thank Wendy Becker. She did another yeoman's job here to support everyone and keep the momentum going. So as they say in Hamilton, this is a movement, not a moment. So keep it up. You guys, other states haven't done what we've done today, and you can't let up because equality is everything. And this is what this is about. We're all equal parents under the law, and children entitled to the parents who love them. I think it was Rep. Dan McCannon who said in committee, love is love. And that's how we should end this. And we got to keep that up because we see what's going on in society today with the racial tension and the COVID. And this was a great thing we did today. Maybe not everything, but I think we got everything that you need to become equal parents under the law. So thank you all. Thank you for your personal stories. Thank you for hanging in there. That's how it gets done. So thanks again.
I'm not going to give anyone a pen right now. I'm going to disinfect them.
Love it.
But then I'm going to give you guys a pen.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Just kidding. Okay, let's do this.
Wait, do we need the families up here? We need the families that have
Yeah,
been a part of this
everybody,
up here.
Everybody back
here,
come on.
They've all been a part of this.
Absolutely.
Kate!
Just keep a little distance.
Well, she's undermining what she's done for us.
Oh, you guys worked hard on this.
We have a young lady who's about to deliver here. So.
I saw that. Okay, are we all here?
We're here.
Thank you for being part of this. Thank you all. Okay, Carol.